Do you want a Minisode tonight, or do you want a full show?
Yeah, I just thought we could just have a chat. What's going on?
Shoot the breeze, as they will.
Yeah, hang shit on Benson.
Of gallivanting around the UK.
Just fueled up the private jet and took off. Word is that he actually got John Travolta to fly him over there. It's the kind of cash Benson's rolling with these days.
It makes sense.
Minisode!
Minisode!
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Well, I hope he's travelling safe. I don't know if you saw the news today. Old mate Chandler Parsons in a bit of a crash.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, concussion. He should really, when he travels, put some of that Memphis money behind his neck just to save any sort of repercussions. Cushion the load a bit, you know.
Was there any damage to the knee?
I mean, that's yet to be reported.
Well, he's not having a good run, is he, Chandler? I mean, he is in a way. He's just collecting checks for doing nothing. But
what did he get? 25 mil for this last year? Oof.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
Save that money, brother. Save that money, because can you see him on another roster after this? Come on.
Yeah, I can. I can. I can, because someone will give him a chance. You know why? Because he can shoot.
Can he, though? Can he, though, Vince?
Wayne, we've covered this before. You loved Chandler Parsons in Houston.
Screw Parsons. Hey, speaking of Houston and speaking of the Grizz, I think we should talk about the Grizzlies.
I am happy to talk about the Grizz.
That's good.
Because I bet every second day I sent you something about Ja Morant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Ja.
Man, he's so good. He's so good.
He is a beast. He's going to be so good, man.
But
if you guys lose him, I know I rib you every second day about him being a Laker one day, but
yeah,
seriously, if you guys lose him, just shut up shop, close the franchise down, move it, whatever, sell it.
We'll move to Seattle.
Yep.
No, he's been fantastic and definitely, definitely worth all the buzz and hype that's going on right now. I mean, Memphis were on a 6-game winning streak. We just knocked off Houston the other day, which was fantastic. It was such a good game to watch. And you know me, I always like to see that Houston team go down anyway. So, but you know, like as good as Morant's been, and I don't want to take away from what he's done because, like I said, all credit to him, and the hype is real. And yeah, if you're not on the Morant bandwagon, jump on it now because the kid's just getting started. But it's been sorry,
just one question. When was the last time you guys had a 6-game win streak?
Actually, I think the most we've ever had was maybe a 8-game win streak. And the last time we had a win streak like this was... Oh, I actually found this out today and I've already forgotten. It's been a while.
Was it the year you knocked out the Spurs?
It could have been. Yeah, as I was saying, as good as Morant's been, it's been a total team effort from this Memphis squad. Like I've said to you and Stu, and I suppose I brought it up before on the podcast in previous episodes. It's like I had no expectations going to this season for my Memphis crew, and all I really wanted to see was the team gel and to see some sort of progression. Do you know what I mean? And get better by season's end. And we've just exceeded, man. I just love everyone on the roster.
Yeah, it's a really fun team to watch, and you've got some really nice young pieces. Dylan Brooks, for one. I mean, he's been there, 3 or 4 years?
This is his 3rd year now, I think. But he sat out.
3rd year.
He had a really good rookie year, and then he sat out the 2nd year injured, pretty much. So, I've just been so on the fence with Dylan Brooks. I'm kind of glad you brought him up because, you play GM in your head, and he's always sort of been the first guy I move because I sort of haven't been sold. But this year, man, I mean, he's shown he can really fill it up. He wants to defend the opposition's best player. He's just showed some real grit, which I've appreciated from a fan standpoint.
Yeah, he absolutely kills the Lakers every time he plays us. He could miss 20 games and come back and drop 25.
Yeah.
But I just love how fun you guys are to watch, and this is, I think I said it to you the other day in a message, like it's a good fun rebuild. It's not one of those rebuilds where you're just picking players left and right just to fill a roster spot. Like, he's got a plan, and these are the rebuilds that you'll love because you can see it going to be building every year, and you'll make the playoffs and hopefully go deep one year.
Do you think Iggy regrets sitting out?
It's hard to say. I mean
when the trade went through, he said that he didn't want to come to Memphis, he didn't want to play. And then it was about 2 days later, the team came out and said, well, look, it's a mutual decision. They come to an agreement that they wouldn't suit him up and, they'd look for a trade partner for him.
I think he regrets not playing in the fact that if he does get traded or waived or bought out, he's not, I don't care how much you work out, you're not match fit.
No, not at all. I mean, he's a good vet, man. He's a good vet. I was actually surprised that he wouldn't suit up. I mean, maybe he just thought that he would have been moved, by now, and kind of what was the point. But I mean, he's getting plenty of rest, and I'm sure a lot of there's already been lots of buzz with the playoff contenders inquiring about him. Here's my thing. I got to ask you because I'm a little bit too deep in this. Even though I feel like I'm pretty level-headed. Where do we go from here, right? If you're a Grizzlies fan, or if you're a Grizzlies management, where do you go from here? Because think of this, right? We've still got pieces. So we've still got the Iggy piece. Whether we look to buy that out or we trade, and everything they've said, management has always been they're trading this guy. It'll be a trade deadline trade. It'll go down. What sort of piece do you bring in? Because we have great vets on this team right now as well. We still have Josh Jackson, who did have a slip up in the G League, but has been excellent since that. Been putting up big numbers in G League. I think the Memphis Hustle are undefeated as well on the year. So he's making he's showing that he belongs on an NBA roster. So we've still got Josh Jackson to work back into the fold, I suppose.
Yep.
My thing is we just ride this out. We don't touch a thing. We let these guys continue to develop, and, we can infuse a Josh Jackson later in the year, but it's almost my thought with the Lakers right now, because I know you guys had a lot of, I suppose, before the OKC game, a lot of the rumor mills had heated up that Kuzma was on the block and blah, 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 and I was just kind of like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean? You guys are winning, you don't need to break up it, you don't need to touch a thing. And I think Kuzma really showed that OKC game that, hey, this is why I'm also here. If injuries, same sort of thing with the Grizzlies. Why mess with it if it's working right now?
Remember when, pardon me, when we had, just a year or so ago, we had Lonzo, we had Josh Hart and B.I. and all those guys. And I said, whether we get LeBron or not, the improvement will come
from those pieces
down the road with these guys because they will continue to develop. And you guys are the same. Morant's only going to get better. Brooks is only going to get better. Jaren Jackson's only going to get better. I still think JV is going to get a little bit better too. He's only, 26, 27?
You know what the thing is with him? I think he loves his role right now.
He looks like he's just enjoying his ball.
Because we run plays for him, and he's a vet. When we get stuck, he settles the ship, and he's been chewing up opposing centers at the moment.
He's a beast. Love him. And I honestly think he's embraced the city's embraced him, and I just think he's really enjoying his basketball.
Yeah.
And how could you not play on that team? It's so much fun. And your coach, I don't even know who your coach is. I don't know his name.
I mean, he's a rookie coach. Coach Jenkins. Sorry, even I forgot for a second there. I love everything he's doing this year. I was obviously hesitant because, no one had heard of this guy before joining the Grizz, really. I mean, I can tell you a bit more about him now that he, coached in the G League, was on the Spurs staff for a while as well. So, he does have the pedigree, and he did back that up going to the G League and, winning there. But I loved everything he said leading into this season, and I'm kind of glad that he stuck to his philosophy, and the guys have really bought into it. But, look, he's a rookie coach, and some people earlier on, winning does fix everything, but some people earlier on in the season weren't too happy with his rotations and stuff like that. He's still got a lot of learning, but he's got everyone clicking so well.
Yeah, and look, I'm getting back to your point before, you guys are never going to, and it's not a knock on Memphis, but you guys are never going to attract a massive free agent.
No. I've said that.
So you've either got to trade
or draft
for a start, or draft, and I'm a massive guy for going through the draft and just some shrewd veteran signings here and there. You guys will be back before you know it.
Yeah.
It's such a good, exciting young team.
So you think just hold steady right now? Like, do you think we don't need to make
I think so.
I mean, unless there's something that's like, too good to resist, right? Like, we just stay. These guys are clicking. Man, I'm going to give a shout out to Brendan Clark because I love that kid. He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah, I like that kid.
I'm buying a jersey. I think I'm buying a jersey.
Nice. Look, when you trade Iggy, it'll be draft, it'll be trade deadline, it'll be the best offer you get.
Yeah.
Get a pick, player, who knows?
Yeah, I'd be happy with a pick.
I'd take a pick. Just pick another young stud, hopefully.
Whew, man, so much fun. I tell you, I was at work and had the game playing in the background, and I was glad no one was in the warehouse at the time because I was yelling, jumping up and down that fourth quarter. It was such a fun game to watch. But this squad, man, they're obviously talk of the league a little bit right now, just because
how's the Stones on Morant?
Yeah,
like he just talking shit to James Harden. Like,
loved it.
It's fantastic. Like there's the leader of your team right there for many, many years.
Yeah. I mean, look, no disrespect to Conley, but it just finally feels like we've finally got a superstar.
Yeah, you do.
That's what it feels like, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like we've got a guy on our squad who down the road could potentially be an MVP.
Yeah, I'm
just saying.
No qualms.
Just saying.
I don't know qualms in agreeing with that, mate. I'm high on him. Like, yeah, I could watch him all day, every day. Yeah. Speaking of Conley, is he
injured?
Back playing?
Man, it's rough. I was going to bring this up too. Like, I mean, I feel bad for Conley, and you'll never hear me speak disrespectfully of Mike Conley. But I mean, Utah are rolling right now as well. I mean, they are balling, and they're balling well without Mike Conley as well. So it's,
I hate to say it, and because I do like Conley. I hate to say it, but they're better without him.
I think they'll need him down the stretch, man. And he's going to take a little... I mean, you got to remember, he's what? How many years in Memphis? Like, he's straight to a new system. And he's had injuries, like, leading in. So he's just not off to a good start. But my thing is, like, yes, they're clicking well. Clarkson trade.
Oh, my God.
Fantastic. They're on a 9-game win streak since making that trade for him. So he's just given them that punch off the bench. Another team who flicks away Jeff Green. Yeah, I mean, Utah are rolling. What are they? Today they were like second in the Western Conference or something like that, or maybe tied second with Denver. But, I mean, 10-game win streak.
Yeah, look, just to the Utah fans out there, the 5 of you, don't expect Clarkson to do this in the playoffs, okay?
Ouch.
Because he will disappear. He's the new... I don't know who he is. Jordan Clarkson's going to be the new Kyle Lowry because we need a new one in the playoffs.
Ouch. Ouch. I mean, but, with the Conley injury, they made some adjustments. I mean, Ingles back in the starting lineup now. It just looks like a totally different player. I mean, you can't put him back in that 6-man role off the bench. Like, he's just too good, and they run so many things through him. I think they'll be crazy. They've just got to figure out a way to work Conley in, because when Conley gets back, he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine, and I think they'll need him down the stretch. Like, we just hit that halfway mark in the NBA season, and I'm always going to put money on Mike Conley.
Well, if I'm Coach Snyder, I'm bringing him off the bench. I'm not messing with what's working.
Bring Conley off the bench?
Yeah.
Oof, really?
Well, mate, it's working, and they didn't look this good when he was running the show. He looks... I took a lot of interest in Utah just when he went there.
Yeah.
Because I like Conley. To me, he just looked like he was a step slower than what he was the season before at Memphis.
It's because he's injured, man.
Mate, they've got a lot of money invested in that.
I mean, hey, maybe they turn around and trade deadline and go, you know what, we're going to stick with the guy. We're going to move Conley on.
Where?
Minnesota could use a good point guard, Vince. We shouldn't get into that, though.
He's not going to Minnesota.
We shouldn't get into that, though. you want to hear more about that, tune into the next episode of Timbal's Explosion with our good friends, Joey Owagen, champion.
The most passionate Timbal's fan you'll ever meet in your life.
Got to give him a shout out.
He gives us the best shout outs.
Yeah, he does.
Which we greatly appreciate. He's a good fella. But he's just, I don't know, he's an angry man at the moment. He's not happy with the Bulls. He wants a championship.
If you're in Minnesota and you're listening to this show and you know Joey, you see him in the street, just go give him a hug.
Yeah. He's easy to find. He's about 6'2", bald.
He's a big bear. He's a big bear. He's fine. He'll appreciate it.
He's angry. Yeah, he's very angry.
We're going to get him on the show soon. We haven't had him on the show for a while. I think it's...
Mate, more than happy to have him on the show.
Nice.
What do we do with Minnesota? I don't want to give up on Wiggins. He showed enough.
How many times are we going to do this roundabout, Vince? How many... He's on the big boy... I've said it before. He's on the big boy money. How many seasons are he in now?
Oh, it's got to be 5, 6.
Mate, come on. Look, that contract is huge. I don't want to get into it because I did bring this up on the Timbal's Explosion Facebook page. And I know Joe's probably going to touch on it next episode. So I won't go into it too much, but I just feel like, man, when he had his little spurt earlier in the year and all those super hyper excited Timbal's fans were talking playoffs and no one can stop him and Wiggins turned the corner. What happened? What happened, Vince? 10 games later.
But Wayne, what caused the spurt?
Desire,
he needs
effort.
Exactly. He needs to be triggered somehow. There's got to be a trigger point where the penny drops for him and he goes, you know what?
Vince, it's like rebounding, mate. It's like rebound. Some people have a knack for it and want to rebound, and some people just want to have their hands around their waist and catch the odd one that falls off a missed free throw.
I don't think that's Wiggins.
He's Jeff Green Jr. Come on, man.
He's not.
He's Jeff Green Jr. You know it.
Wayne, I swear to God, Wayne.
You know
You're a dickhead.
You know it.
He's not. Jeff Green couldn't hold a candle to Andrew Wiggins. I'm sorry.
Mate, I don't know, man.
Everything. There's something that's got to make the penny drop, and I wish I knew what it was, because until he does, Minnesota's going to run up and down on the same spot.
And that's why they need to move on. He's had time there. If he goes somewhere else and he blossoms somewhere else, fine. That's great. But you get the most you can for Andrew Wiggins, and your superstar is Karl Anthony Towns. You build around that. You get him players that can support him and his game, because that's the only chance you've got in Minnesota of making any sort of noise. Because if you wait for the Andrew Wiggins experience to come to fruition, you're gonna lose Towns. He's gonna fucking walk. He's gonna go, you know what? Screw all this cold. Screw it. D'Lo was right. I'm going to Phoenix with my boy Booker. We're gonna wait a year. Then D'Lo's gonna come join us, and we're gonna run in the heat. That's what's gonna happen.
No, it's not.
You like that, Ray?
I'm not convinced that Towns is that guy either. Even though I love Karl Anthony Towns, I'm not convinced he's that guy either.
I'm not convinced that he's had the right vets around him from the get-go to show him the ropes. I mean, I know he had, KG for like a year, but it's not enough, man. Like, you know, KG was barely playing, and, you know, he was more there looking for an in on the management side of things anyway. Like, he needs some vets there to help him win basketball games. So Minnesota win basketball games. They need that dog out there. They need someone who's not going to quit when they get down 15, heading into the fourth quarter with 6 minutes still left to go. And he needs someone to bark at. He needs someone to pull him up when he's playing like shit and call him out.
You know what I'm doing if I'm the Minnesota GM? I forget his first name, his last name, Rosas.
Relocating? No, seriously.
Scottie Pippen.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm saying, Scotty, I want to hire you part-time. When we're at home at practice, I want you here, and I want you working with Wiggins. I need this kid motoring. Do whatever you got to do. Yell and scream, whatever. Get this kid motivated to be the best he can be. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I think that.
Who else better to learn from than Scottie Pippen?
Oh,
he's not doing it. He's on the jump.
I agree. That would be great. That'd be in fantasy land. That'd be perfect. That's not going to happen.
It doesn't have to be fantasy. money talks.
Mate.
And they're owned by a billionaire.
Yeah.
Pay the man. Get him in there. Get him in there and get him up Wiggins' ass and light a fire.
Oof. Hey, speaking of fires, not the ones currently going on here. I just realised what a bad segue that was, and my next words out of my mouth. But we should. I did want to talk about the Detroit Pistons. But seriously, it's over there, right? Like it's done. Like rebuild.
I just, you know that saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone?
Oh, no, I agree with you with Drummond. But what
Andre Drummond, man, they, again, and it's like we say this every week, there are Pistons fans who everything is Andre Drummond's fault. I'm not sure. I actually want him to leave now so they can get stuffed and they can see how much he actually did for that franchise.
They need to. They need to blow that whole thing up. I mean, Blake's out for the year now. He's elected as...
Oh, I'd be trading him.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Even, like, what? Like, Derrick Rose has been great. Well, I think I read today he's had the 6th or 7th game in a row of 20-plus points, and that's great. But, then he's going to, sit there the next how many games? Like, he's been fantastic. He was good in Minnesota, and they clearly... They admitted that he couldn't play starters minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just not that player anymore. And that's fine. That's great. But... what's that club? Where's that club going? Like, it's going nowhere. Blake's sitting out this year, so what does that mean for next season? Do you know what I mean? It's time to blow that up. It's time to take a book out of Charlotte's Leaf, going, you know what? We gave it a crack. It's not working. It's not working. We need to rebuild. We need to... everyone's available. I know I messed that metaphor up. Charlotte's Leaf, that's right. It's a thing.
They should take a book out of Charlotte's Leaf.
That's right. Charlotte's book on Leafs. It's a big hit in Charlotte, I've heard.
I wish Benson was here.
He's going to hear this and give me so much crap. What do you mean?
Yeah, look, Reggie Jackson's got to go.
Is he even alive? I've seen him on the court for fucking seasons.
He is. Injured again.
Reggie Jackson.
Look, I actually don't mind the Pistons. So it sucks to see them this way, but I think everyone's going. The only guy I'd keep, obviously, is Drummond. And that new kid they've got, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry.
Woods.
Because I can't pronounce it.
The young centre, the springs in his leg. Woods, I think his name is.
Who? No, not Christian Woods, the other guy.
Woods is good, man. I like him.
Yeah, look, but the young kid they've got there, I think his first name's Sekou. The fans are raving on about him. Like, yeah, he's going to be good. But you've got a guy there who's giving you 20 and 15 every night and you're shitting on him.
Yeah. I mean...
And Drummond still wants to stay.
But look, it's just time. It's not working. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes...
It's not his fault it's not working.
No, it's not. No, I totally agree with you. And he's going to go somewhere else and he's going to kill it. And when he goes back to Detroit, he's going to smash them and they're all going to complain that, that management moved him. But it's not working. You're just going to grind that guy out for another fucking 6 seasons if this keeps going. And you're not competing. You're not doing anything. Like, he doesn't... If anything, they've failed to put the pieces around him. I mean, and I was one of the biggest supporters of the Blake-Drummond combo last year, but now you're finding Blake struggling to keep healthy. How long before Drummond starts going down with injuries? I mean, he's carrying the whole bloody team anyway. It's just time. It's just time.
I see what you're saying. And I'd be the first to trade Blake and Reggie. But Drummond's only 26.
Don't you want to see Drummond succeed and have success? I mean, look, I'm sentimental about the Pistons as well, but it's just time to move him on and start a fresh rebuild in Detroit because the fans deserve it. Drummond deserves it. Even if he doesn't want to go, he needs to move on. He needs to move on, whether they send to Boston or wherever all the other rumours are going on at the moment. But, I mean, he can help his team contend. We've been saying that for years. But it's not going to happen in Detroit.
I think he'll end up in Atlanta. And I said this on Twitter to Keelan King, a massive Detroit fan, from the Rip City Bad Boys. I said, if you're going to trade him to Atlanta, conversation starts around John Collins. Mm. Like, you want quality back. You're not just giving him up for picks. Like, you want a quality player back. John Collins and 2 first-round picks, and, well, that's a start.
I mean,
Drummond is that good. He just gets no love because he's playing in Detroit.
Dude, he's going to get attention. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's going to get lots of attention. As soon as he's made available, they give the green light on that. You know, come trade deadline, he's not going to be there. But they need to start again. Detroit is what I'm getting to. Like, I love Drummond. You know, we've been pretty big supporters of him on the show for seasons now. You know, back to the Greg Monroe, Twin Tower Detroit teams. You know, like
they didn't give that duo enough time.
But you know, this is the constant thing, right, in Detroit. The mismanagement. You know, we've seen it.
Van Gundy made that trade to save his bacon.
Of course he did.
No one can tell me he made that trade going, this is what's best for Detroit.
Yeah. I mean,
this is what's best for me. That was that trade.
It's just time to call it, man. It's just time to call it in Detroit, I feel. Is there anything you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, did you see what Kyrie Irving put on Instagram?
So I only caught a bit of it. You want to refresh my memory?
Pretty much, he just says the Nets need more pieces.
Because he named a few players that were like, you know what it feels like? It just feels like such a by making that statement, it feels like such a fucking cool kids camp. Like, these are the cool kids, but everyone else sucks. So I need to replace everyone else, and I only want the cool kids on my team. Like, he's he
named like KD, obviously, Karras, DeAndre, Jared Allen. But it's like, dude, what did you expect?
Yeah. Especially this year. Like, KD's out. Like,
yeah.
I hope they win nothing. I hope they don't win a damn thing. Even when KD comes back next year.
Geez, talk about buyer's remorse.
Dude, how much do you reckon Sean Marks regrets not just giving the max to D'Lo?
Oh, huge. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if we get private messages going, you guys are flogs for saying that. No one could change my mind. He is in his office with his sheep, and he's stroking his sheep with Tanae Wilson-Brown going, geez, I should have given D'Lo Brown the max.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now he's going to put up with all this drama. I mean, you're kidding yourself if you didn't see the red flags from what happened in Boston.
Maybe Sean Marks thought it'd be different.
I mean, we know what the sell was bring in Irving and you get Durant. I mean, okay, that does, you know, that is very attractive and it's going to sell tickets. But man, you know what? That combination also get you fired.
You know, in his little statement, he didn't even mention Jared Allen.
He's an idiot. I feel bad. I feel bad for the rest of the Brooklyn Nets, because I actually enjoyed watching that team last year and loved the pieces they had, especially around D'Lo. I mean, so many great pieces and young, upcoming pieces. And now they've got a season of this, and imagine how that makes people on that bench feel by reading that in the media. Irving's not the GM. Irving is not the GM.
No.
And it's like,
I mean, he could be. He's just a knob.
If I'm Sean Marks, I mean, it's not going to happen. But if I'm Sean Marks, I trade Irving. I'll start Dinwiddie.
I've thought this a few times. I think this is going to end up in an absolute heap. If Durant didn't do his Achilles, I think Durant could have played till his late 30s at quite a high level. He might come back and have a really good season, but it'll just be one, maybe two. It's going to end up an absolute dumpster fire. It's going to go pear-shaped, and they'll be back in the lottery rebuilding before you know it. That's just my gut feeling.
I think Irving actually needs a counsellor. I think he actually needs to sit down with someone. I mean, look, I am dead serious when it comes to mental health issues and stuff like that. And I don't really like joking about that sort of stuff, but it's like he has a personality disorder at times. Like, he says one thing and then comes back the next week saying another thing, and just his attitude. And I think he has a real issue. And if he wants to, his statement that he released earlier in the year, he's talking about, I mean, I don't have the quote in front of me, so I don't want to paraphrase a lot, but him talking about, it's just a game, there's things bigger than games. I'm like, well, okay, then, that is the case, then take your mental health seriously, and maybe you should step away from the game and get yourself right and then come back. There's nothing wrong with that. We saw, Larry Sanders do that. We've seen players do that.
But didn't Larry Sanders just want to stay at home and smoke weed?
Nah, he's...
Nah, he had an issue.
Can't remember what it was now, actually.
Allegedly.
It's been so long since I talked about a guy like Larry Sanders. But
Larry Sanders show, yeah.
He's great. I like that guy.
He was good, man. He was good.
But yeah, I just think this is... I don't like... for me, I don't know about for you, there's a real stench with his name now in the NBA for me.
Yeah, there is a bit, for sure. Well, why not? Let's look at it. He gets drafted, goes to Cleveland.
Yeah.
LeBron comes back. They're pretty good for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then his ego, or he's bipolar, or whatever is getting in the way, wants to leave once his own team, goes to Boston.
Demands a trade, goes to Boston.
Yep. It's all rosy at the start. Hurts his knee, goes out again.
Let's not forget while he's in Boston, he throws all the younger players under the bus.
Yep, exactly. Apparently would go weeks without speaking to his teammates. Finally out of there, goes to Brooklyn, has hardly played on massive money, injured again. He's back for 5 minutes and he's already saying we haven't got enough. When it was you and KD and DeAndre Jordan got together.
Let's look at that Brooklyn team. Let's look at last year. They were good enough to make the playoffs last year. They were good enough to compete in the Eastern Conference. Now they're not good enough, and you've added...
you've added a superstar, apparently.
Right?
Who's never played. He's hardly played.
Yeah, there's a stench, man. There's a stench going on.
And you had Dinwiddie, Spencer Dinwiddie, who was late first round. Absolutely star.
It's ridiculous. It's actually really ridiculous. Yeah, I did see that tweet today, and I shook my head. I didn't... when you read something or someone tells you something and you can't focus on it because it's just ridiculous to you, and you just, all right, I'll just do that later. It was kind of one of those moments. I read it, I rolled my eyes pretty far back in my head. And then I continued to make my way home from work.
Look, he was a guy that year they won the championship in Cleveland, he was a guy that I really enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
And then something just turned in him or went wrong with him. I think he's bipolar myself.
I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something that's, to me, not right.
It's... mate, speaking of the Cavs, what about Kevin Love? Where's he going to go?
Oof. Yeah, I don't know.
Hard contract to trade. It's not like he's 26, 27. He's 31. He's injured. He's injured a lot. I
really like Kevin Love, man. Although he's super frustrating in Cleveland with their high school coach, but
weird coach. One and done, I think, with that dude.
Oh yeah, he's not. No, yeah.
Tell you what, they need to make a decision: Colin Sexton or Darius Garland.
Yeah, just make the call, right?
I as much as I like Sexton, I'm sticking with Garland.
He's good, man. I liked what I saw. I was going to say the same thing to you. I was going to say, who would you pick? And I like Garland, man. He looks real good. He looks like he could run the show. Sexton's good, but I don't know, man. This is...
Mate, I'd be calling around and going, who needs a point guard?
It's also his second year in the league, and I just feel like he's... I don't know, look, it's a Cleveland team. They've got bad players, and... Maybe sometimes...
You've got to...
Sorry.
Do you blow it up? Thompson goes, Love goes, Sexton goes.
You've got to. This is what are you holding on to? LeBron's not coming back for another tour. Don't hold the pieces on for LeBron's sake. You don't care. He's in LA winning games.
I'd like to see Thompson go somewhere else. Love go somewhere else. I'd like to see Love go back to Minnesota, actually.
Make it right. Wiggins for Love. Come on, make it right.
No, I'm joking. Love.
Look, there's no point having those guys. If you're going young, and look, what would even the goal be this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers? What do you think the goal would be for that team?
They don't have any.
Right? Progression. That's the only thing I can think of. Progression, develop young guys. You're not going to do that with Kevin Love. He's not Benjamin Button. He's not getting younger. Move him on, bring some more young talent in, because you'll get something for Kevin Love. There's teams out there who will pay money will give up assets for Kevin Love. Even Thompson.
I don't think the currency is high as it used to be.
Of course not. But you've got to look towards the future for Cleveland. I mean, you've got to build a young team. You've got to build through the draft, something that I have had trouble doing with in the past.
Do you think Boston would be interested in Kevin Love?
I think they're very interested in Kevin Love.
Do you?
Yep.
Well, okay, if you're the Cavs, what do you say? Got any of those picks left?
Why not?
Gordon Hayward
picks, and I think it'd be young talent.
Go ahead.
Well, I think maybe even a rookie from this year or last year. I think it's that and picks for Kevin Love. The money will free up then in Cleveland, and I mean they've just got to invest in the draft. They can't keep holding on to these.
Yeah, because they're another team that just does not get free agents.
No. Thompson, same deal. I mean, I don't know if Thompson just wants to be a lifer there in Cleveland. I mean, even I feel bad for Delly out there. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, he's a tough-nosed player. I mean, he's not a young player either. Like, send him to somewhere where he can help a team. Send him to a team that needs a poor man's Pat Beverly.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the NBL next year anyway.
You reckon? Come back home?
Well, I can't see a team signing him for anything, really.
The thing with Delly too right now is he's starting to get a bit injury prone. Starting to sit a lot of games. I mean, look, I love the addition of Dante Exum. Like, there's some good... Look, if we got rid of the coach and we got rid of Kevin Love, Thompson, and we just start from scratch, okay, we're looking at the young talent we have on this squad. Let's say we move Sexton. We keep Garland. We keep Dante, Nance Jr. They've got some young... I mean, they need to develop young talent and draft well.
They need to, clear out Love, Thompson, Sexton, and just tank and go for that number one pick.
100%.
That's all they have to do. Because then you can pair up Garland with the number one pick, and you hopefully got the start of something decent. You
go into that next draft and you find yourself the hottest shooter. You don't need another guard. You don't need to draft ball. You want the hottest shooter in the draft. That's what you want. Someone who can fill it up, play the 2 or 3, and really put points, and you invest in that.
Yeah.
That's the way out in Cleveland. That's the way out. You're not winning shit for the next 20 years, so might as well be fun and exciting.
Did they headhunt this coach? Because I know he was coaching Michigan.
Yeah.
So did they headhunt him, or did he apply, or what?
They went after him. But do you know what it is? Like, there's a real reality check, I think, for these guys coming from the college to the NBA. I would almost, not want to do that.
I'd want to be like an assistant for a few years at least.
Yeah. Like, I would take an assistant from the Spurs over any college coach in the game today. Any of them.
Can I just say, there's a guy out there who's not yet looking for a coaching job, and he's won everywhere he's coached. Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he has a people problem, though.
No, he's won championships as a coach.
No, I agree.
And, mate, I tell you what, he wouldn't put up with any shit. They'd play hard, I tell you what.
I mean, there's plenty of guys like that, though, I feel. Laimbeer, yeah, I agree with you, but there's plenty of... I mean, not even ex-players, man. I just think...
Mark Jackson?
I'm not a big fan. I know you are, though, but... I mean, I'd give Sam Cassell a run at head coach. He's been an assistant coach for his games under his belt, man. He's assistant coach Doc Rivers. I mean, I think since he hung it up in Boston, he's been assistant coach for Doc Rivers since. So
yeah, he has. Yeah. Can we just change topics just for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I read today on Facebook that Andrew Bogut's not playing, I think, tomorrow night.
Load management?
Load management.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Are you fucking kidding me?
From what? Load management from what?
We fucking play 2 games a week, and you fucking need load management. Oh, turn it up.
Mate.
I'm telling you now, Wayne, I am getting sick to death of players missing games. Not only here, but the NBA, especially the NBA.
You know what, though? It's Bogut's getting on now, though, like NBA.
Dude, he's playing 2
I know, I get it.
a week.
I agree with you.
The amount of games that are being missed with pissy little injuries or load management, mate, players now are supposed to have the best facilities, the best treatments, the best recoveries.
Yeah.
Way better than the 80s and 90s. Why are you missing games for load management?
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Ball